Kumusta kayo mga kaibigan? Today is September 6 na po. Bukas is September 7, Sunday. Ngayon is Saturday po. I hope that everything is running smoothly sa mga buhay natin po dyan kung nasaan man kayo ngayon. Mga kababayan ko dito po sa Malaysia and of course ang mga kababayan natin po dyan sa Pilipinas and mga overseas Filipino workers sa mga ibang parte o sa mga iba-ibang lugar. Dito sa mundo natin po, kumusta kayo? And welcome to my program, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. Putulin natin ang ulo ng ahas. If we want that the snake will be killed. Hindi dapat po ang patayin natin yung ahas, no? We start killing the snake. Kung gusto natin to kill the snake, the most effective way of killing the snake po so that you will not be harmed anymore is go direct to the head. Chop the head. Not in the tail, not in the body, but direct sa head po. Sa head. Because if you're going to do it sa tail or sa body po, no? There is still siguro last reaction of the snake. Baka ang ulo niya po can still reach you and bite you. No? So, I think the best way to kill a snake is go direct sa ulo ng ahas. Yun po ang mga mensahe, mga opinion, mga expression, mga suggestions ng mga kababayan natin po dito sa Malaysia. Sa Kuala Lumpur, sa dyan po sa Sabah East Malaysia, they text to me po. Sabi na, Sir Nick, medyo pagod na kami, Sir Nick, marinig itong mga investigation left and right po. Although maganda man yung mga investigation ngayon, ongoing investigation tungkol sa flood control projects dyan po sa Pilipinas. Very hot issue yan po. Anomalous awarding of flood control projects po by the thousands yun po. No? Some are ghost projects, some are below standard, walang quality po. No? Some projects are declared completed, pero it's not yet completed, but fully paid na po ang gobyerno. And already paid using the taxpayers' money. Kaya ngayon ka nang blame ang mga taxpayers, be it ang mga Filipinos dyan po sa Pilipinas or mga Filipinos dyan sa labas ng Pilipinas po. Because even nasa labas kami or mga overseas Filipino workers po, we are still paying our taxes to the government. We are still paying our taxes to the government. Kaya nga po, ang mga Filipino dito sa Sabah or sa Malaysia in general po, they said, fed up na tayo po, no? Sir Nick, marinig left and right. Although maganda ngayon, mayroon investigation ang Senate, dyan po sa Blue Ribbon Committee, spearheaded by Senator Dante Marcoleta. Mayroon din tayo ang TRICOM po, TRICOM investigation, carried out dyan po sa ongoing ito, no? Sa House of Representatives. But these are all in aid of legislation po. In aid of legislation. What the Filipinos wants, okay, let's be specific. Kami na lang dito po sa Malaysia. Although hindi kami marami dito compared to other countries like in Saudi Arabia, in the US, maraming mga Filipinos. Dito, konti lang kami po, kasi konti lang ang population din po ng Malaysia. Malaysia's total population is only around 32 to 33 million people. No? Ito lang po ang population natin ng Malaysia po. So, although maliit lang kami, ang Filipino community dito po, but we are very concerned of what is happening dyan po sa Pilipinas. Because whatever happens in the Philippines, apektado din kami po. No? Hindi lang ang yon ng mga lugar wherein maraming mga Filipinos, but kami din po affected dito. Kaya nga, what we want is, mga Filipinos dito po, majority na, no? What the majority of the Filipino communities dito po sa Malaysia, what we want is, hindi lang in aid of legislation ang investigation po. What we want is, make sure na itong mga individuals, companies, or even politicians, involved in these anomalous activities in the awarding of flood control projects dyan po sa Pilipinas, not only flood control projects but also other development programs or projects dyan sa Pilipinas po, who they abused the power, took advantage, So, put them behind bars. Yun ang gusto namin. Yun ang gusto namin kami dito mo, ang mga Filipino sa Malaysia mo. We just don't want to see people, politicians just talking that, heads will be rolling, we are doing something, everything, to make sure that this problem will be addressed properly po. Addressing the problem, that's very good po. But why not also consider punishing those who committed these crimes? Simultaneous na po. You file case against them, and then you're addressing the problem po para wala ng repetition. Filing cases against these individuals or companies po will serve as an eye-opener na sa kanila po, or parang threat na yon sa mga would-be individuals planning to take advantage of the powers given to them as elected public officials, politicians, as elected public or government top officials po, as appointed awardee for certain projects po, government projects po. It will serve as a warning to them already po. So this is what we want. This is really what we want to see. Ngayon, of lately, few days ago, yesterday and the other day, masaya nga na tayo po because ang acting Department of Public Works and Highways, si Secretary Vince Dizon, already officially announced na wala na po ang district engineer dyan po sa Bulacan involved sa itong issue na ito na abuse of powers, awarding and implementation of flood control projects dyan po sa province of Palawan. Maganda yan po. Not only him, but the other officials po identified with the evidence na po na they are involved in these activities. So we are happy, but we are expecting, hindi lang po ang Public Works Department po, sino yan, mga politician, mga congressmen, mga congressmen involved in this. Sabihin natin anomalies. Who are these congressmen? In fact, now confirmado na po, according to Acting Secretary Vince Dizon, confirmed. Not only he confirmed, but also the President confirmed, and also even the ongoing investigation, initial investigation shows that confirmed there are people and also companies as well as congressmen who are involved in this anomalous activities po when we talk about flood control projects. So sana lang po the culprits give us justice and accountability po, put them behind bars. For me, this is my own opinion. Okay, let's put this situation, parang ahas ito po, Nandyan ang ahas. There is a snake in front of us, and we want to kill that snake. That snake is the corruption. Corruption na po. We want to kill the snake. Now, okay, you must remember, ang snake, nandyan na po ang ulo, ang body, at sa tail na po. Let's say mga congressmen siguro, Public Works Department, part of the body of the snake. Tapos, towards the tail siguro po, let's say mga contractors, private contractors po. At saka sa ulo, nandiyan na po mga congressmen, Nandoon na yun po, mga big time. Ha? Mga mastermind, nandoon na po. Nandoon na ang mastermind. So if you want to kill this, or to stop this corruption, to kill this snake, you aim for the head. Para patay agad. Because if you're going to aim for the body, or even the tail, then hindi pa mamatay agad. It will not die instantly. But if you're going to chop the head of the snake, then definitely, for a split of a second, the snake will be gone. Diba? The snake will be gone. So, now we look at it, now I look at it, or we look at it now, na okay, the blame is being pushed to the contractors. The blame is being pushed to the contractors. Parang scapegoat na po ang contractors. Although yes, contractors has something to do. They are also guilty po. Guilty yun sila eh. Because they allow themselves to be used by other people. Because of greediness. Because of money. Yun po. Ang mga contractors, now parang they're absorbing everything. No? The congressman, the Department of Public Works and Highways, say, pointing fingers, sila yun. Sila yun, they were awarded with the project and they did not do their part. They did not do their part. So, blame should be sa mga contractors. But ang mga contractors, they will not get the project kung walang Department of Public Works and Highways. Because ang Public Works and Highways, mga tao dyan involved sa corruption po, no? Ang mga tao dyan involved sa corruption sa Department of Public Works and Highways, it seems that they are the ones who knows what are the projects. And they will inform the contractors. They will inform the contractors, may project dito. Itong amount, blah, 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 blah. Negotiate tayo. We will make sure that you're going to win. Pero dapat, ito din. Ang kapalit, may percentage ako. Sabi ang Department of Public Works and Highways. So, ang contractor, being in the business, who doesn't want business? No point to be a contractor, a businessman, if you don't want business. If you don't want profit. No? Simple lang yan. So you want business. Okay? And then, the negotiation starts there. But, paano naman, ang Department of Public Works and Highways, paano naman, can talk to the contractors, itong mga projects po, kung wala silang support coming up from the one who is sponsoring the projects. Sino yan po sponsoring the projects? Hindi ba mga congressmen? Sila yan po, they will approve, they will propose and approve ang proyekto po. No? So once ang DPWH and the authorities concerned, mga politicians natin, congressmen natin, they will talk and then confirm na my project, that's the time, my agent na yan magpunta sa contractor, and contractor, they will negotiate, blah, 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 blah. Right? Who gets the bigger cut sa negotiation po? Let's say mayroon tayong 100 million project po sa isang project, sa isang lugar. 100. Sabi ang congressman, okay, I will propose this project. Sabi niya sa Department of Public Works, ako yung mag-propose, kailangan kayo itong project dyan po, para to solve ang flood control problems ninyo dyan sa lugar ninyo. Okay, I will propose. And I'll make sure that this will be approved. This will be approved. But I need, my demand is, kasi meron na yan po, whether we like it or not, reportedly, and public knowledge na ito po. Some of them are asking 30%, 40%. Let's say, for example, 40%, sabi ang congressman. Okay, sa akin ang 40%. Approve yan. So, punta na yun sa Department of Public Works and Highways, sabi naman ng director o engineer, kung sino man dyan, grupo yan po, hindi pwede yung isang tao. Alright? Let's look for a contractor. A contractor. Hanap sila ng contractor. Sabi ko, parang agent ka na, sabi niya sa contractor, okay, mayroon tayo dito 100 million a project. Okay, bigyan natin ito kay bossing, 40%. So, 40%, so sa amin, bigyan mo sa amin 20%. So, mayroon ka lang 60% left. 40 plus 20, so mayroon kang 60% left. Okay? 40% ka na lang left, di ba? So, alright. Siyempre, kailangan din yun ang government agencies to earn a little bit. May profit dapat sila. So, they will cut again dyan po. Let's say another 10%. So, naiwan na lang 30%. 30% na naiwan sa 100. Tapos sabi naman ng contractor, nasa negosyo ako. I need profit. Kailangan ko ng profit. So, kunin ko ng 10%. So, mayroon kang remaining 30%. Kunin naman yung 30% ang contractor and you are left with 20%. Mayroon pa yung payments sa mga taxes pa yun po sa gobyerno. So, sa 20%, you have to use a certain amount sa 20% mo. So, at the end of the day, anong klaseng proyekto that we have, that we are going to have? Either, below standard yun po, wala ng quality, or it will be a ghost project. Yun na. Sino ang kawawa? Kawawa po ang taong bayan. Tayo po, mga taxpayers. Daming pera ang Pilipinas. Pero it is being misused by irresponsible, greedy individuals. Kababayan natin po. Government servants, politicians, businessmen. Yun po ang problema sa atin sa Pilipinas. Now, doon sa ulo, don't you think, my gods, yun mga congressmen ba, o senator ba, or governor ba, or whatever, do you think they will be daring enough to do these things kung walang silang green light or they don't give something also to their bosses up there? Kasi hindi man sila ang boss. Mayroon pa mas taas pa sa kanila. May boss pa sila. And sino yun ang pinakamataas na boss? You already know, mga kababayan, kung sino yan po. Kaya sabi ko, if we want to kill, to stop corruption, or to kill this snake, diretso na tayo po sa ulo. Sino yun nasa ulo? Sino yun? Kung sino man yan po, we have to kill that para wala na itong mga iba. Mamatay agad itong mga iba. Mamatay ang ahas po. That's how ang expression ng mga kababayan natin po dito sa Malaysia, they text to me and some of them call me up. They say, hindi ba, Kuya Nick, may puntos kami? Sabi ko, yeah, may puntos kayo. I agree. But let's all pray na this will stop po. You see, a very good example dyan po sa Indonesia, neighboring countries ng Pilipinas po, what is happening dahil sa mga perks. Mataas ang perks ng mga politicians nila po, government servants po. Tapos, during the rally ba yun, one Grab driver was killed. Nagalit ang mga tao po. Nagalit ang mga tao. And ngayon, malaki ang riot sa or mga rallies sa Indonesia. Malaking problema po. Why? Parehas din ang Pilipinas sa Indonesia. If you go back to our history, may unit team sila po. ang presidente niyan, incumbent president ngayon ng Indonesia, si Prabowo. Ha? Siya ang presidente, sino po ang vice president? Nag-unit team sila po. Ang anak ni Jokomo, former president po. May unit team. The difference between Philippines and Indonesia when it comes to this aspect, si Jokomo, the father of the vice president, is supporting. He's not talking bad about the incumbent president. Dito naman sa Pilipinas, si Duterte, grabe ang banat din kay Bongbong Marcos. Pero may unity team. Nakumpisa sila sa unity team between Bongbong Marcos and Inday Sara Duterte as the vice president. Dahil sa korupsyon, John po, nagproblema ang unity team, and this is what is happening. As early as 2 years ago, si Inday Sara Duterte was already telling before she stepped down as the Deputy Secretary. Sabi niya, itong pera natin sa Pilipinas, 2 tao lang po who decides ang budget natin. Representative Saldico and the Speaker, Martin Romualdez. Not everybody believe kay Inday Sara Duterte po o kay Vice President Sara Duterte when she revealed itong pronouncement niya po during a press conference, one of the press conference, I think it was last year, early last year ba yun? You see? Nobody believed, but now you see po, this is really happening. Ang corruption po sa Pilipinas. Grabe. Grabe po. But anyway, alright, let me share you, ano ito, some stories about, about itong we mentioned si Representative Saldico. Nasaan siya ngayon? Nasa US siya ngayon. And people are calling kasi may investigation. The congressmen are calling, inviting Saldico to the investigation po para malalaman what happened sa national budget natin po 2025. But hanggang ngayon po, there is no news about the invitation from the TRICOM kay Representative o Congressman Saldico. Anyway, nandito po, let me share with you itong news article po. Itong news article from Philstar. From Philstar. The title of the news article is, Saldico should clarify ties to SunWest, alleged budget insertion, lawmaker. Alright, nandito po. Ako, Bicol Party List Representative Saldico, former chair of the House Appropriation Panel, must answer allegations linking him to budget insertions and clarify his ties with SunWest Incorporated, the conglomerate that founded and that landed billions in government contracts, a House leader said. Surigao del Sur, 1st District Representative Romeo S. Momo Sr., who chairs the House Committee on Public Works and Highways, said it would be better for CO to appear and address the allegations. Based on the data from the Sumbong sa Pangulo website, SunWest Incorporated secured 79 government projects worth more than 10 billion pesos. Some of the completed projects reportedly received poor and unsatisfactory ratings and were flagged for subpar quality. CO is in the United States for medical treatment. House spokesperson Princess Amante said this week, CO's trip is covered by a travel authority which government officials need when leaving the country. Ko used to be chairperson of a House Committee on Appropriations, the panel that has jurisdiction on public spending and the national budget. While he formally divested from SunWest Incorporated when he was elected into office, a Rappler investigation reported that he still retains interest in other firms connected to the group. Navotas City Representative Toby Tiangco has accused Ko of inserting 30.8 billion pesos in the bicameral Conference Committee version of the 2025 budget. He said he wants the House inquiry on infrastructure projects to invite Ko as a resource person to explain and prove that the probe will spare no one. If the House Infrastructure Committee will push through with investigating or inviting lawmakers, Momo said the hearing should first establish how deep the alleged participation in the projects was and whether the project were substandard or were cost or existed only on paper. When asked about supposed insertion in 2025 budget during the BICAM conference, particularly in the proposed budget for the Department of Public Works and Highways or DPWH, the Surigao del Sur lawmaker explained that the National Expenditure Program cannot be created or decided by a single lawmaker alone. Alright, yun po. Yun po. Yun, sana lang po. Pero wala dito si Congressman Saldico, nasa United States na po, undergoing medical treatment. So let's see. And on Monday, September 8, there will be it is already confirmed, it's scheduled already, September 8 is the third hearing to be carried out by the Senate, the Blue Ribbon Committee, chaired by Senator Rodante Marcoleta po. Itong tungkol sa flood control projects, anomalous flood control projects po. And the following day, that will be Tuesday, September 9, mag-resume naman po, second session na po, ang TRICOM Committee investigating the flood control projects dyan po sa Pilipinas. Ang sabihin natin, ang TRICOM ng House of Representatives. Sakina Saleh, I would like to say a shout out kay Sakina Saleh who's watching ang program natin dito po sa Sabado na ito. TikTok, The Real Talk with Nico. Alright. Mainit ang istorya natin, no? Tungkol sa itong anomalya dyan po sa Pilipinas sa flood control projects. This time around, I would like to share with you a video clip. And itong video clip will show you an interview between former Associate Justice si Antonio Carpio being interviewed by Richard Haydarian during a talk show, a television talk show po, no? Ano ba ito? Blogger ba ito? I think he's a blogger. But anyway, I will share with you this video clip para at least you will have an idea po, no? Ano ang observation, feelings the former Associate Justice si Justice Antonio Carpio po. Let's listen to this. Hold on, Let's listen to this. Sandali, konti. Alright, nandito na po. Let's listen to this and let's go.
I went back to my article in 2013 about the Napoles issue, the mother of all scams. The amount was 10 billion pesos. Kanina lang, I saw on South China Morning Post an article about our current scandal. It's almost $10 billion. So Justice Carpet, this is almost 50 times worse corruption.
Yes.
than the mother of all scams. So kung may Napoles dati ngayon, Nepoles na ngayon, mga Nepo kids. I mean, things are getting really bad, Justice Garvey, over the past decade.
Yeah, the way I look at it, remember the worst corruption happened during martial law under Marcos Sr. And this will be the next worst corruption after that, even maybe bigger than what happened in martial law. It's still under Marcos regime again. So, the president, the incumbent president, wanted to redeem the name of Marcos, but I think if he does not act correctly here, it will really damage further the family name. He has to, because he cannot get away from this. Remember what Bonoan said, that the Congress inserted 450 billion in pork barrel projects for flood control, for road reblocking, etc. But he said it's actually 600 billion. And the president only vetoed 29 billion out of 450, if you base it on Bonoan's figures, and out of 600 billion, if you base it on the amount mentioned by Jesus Escudero. So, if this flood control projects happened, the ghost projects, it's because he did not veto the entire 450 billion. I mean, everybody knew it was a pork barrel.
He has also a responsibility, yeah, exactly.
Yes, he will be responsible for this. He has to address this. Because he had a chance to, he did not propose this in his National Expenditure Program for 2025. So the Congress removed the allocation for PhilHealth, put it in the pork barrel of the PWH, removed the budget for purchase of computer equipment from DepEd, put it, and then for the AFP modernization, totally removed it, put it also, and also for the 4K, for the of the SWD, transferred it. So he cannot claim responsibility for this because he could have vetoed everything, and then so the money is not allocated. He will require now a supplementary budget to correct everything.
Okay, yun po. Narinig natin po si former Associate Justice Antonio Carpio po giving his views about this budget natin po. What ang budget sa the former budget na 2025 and of course the 2026 budget which is presently being deliberated po by the lawmakers natin, no? Lawmakers natin. Akala natin po ang pinakamalaking mother of all scam, corruption po ang itong Napoles case. 10 billion involved 10 billion pesos. Pero grabe pala ito po, no? Ito ngayon ng sa national budget natin plus itong sabihin natin flood control projects po galing dyan po sa Department of Public Works and Highways. Anyway, talking about the 2025 and 2026 national budget, mayroon tayo dito po explanation ni Representative. Just, I think it was yesterday ka. Ang explanation statement din na coming from Representative Isidro Ungap. Dyan po sa House of Representative. Let's listen to this po. To Congressman Isidro Ungap.
ODE funded projects in 2024 and 2025. I have here the 4 books of the budget books. Ang tawag ko nito noong araw, ang 4 na libro ng APRO. Sa 2024 National Expenditure Program, pumasok yung ODA, 21.6 billion. Nandito, ginagyan ko ng tag. 11 projects. Pagdating sa GAP 1, General Appropriation Bill, white book with red letterings. Pumasok din, full copy, 11 projects, 21.6 billion. Pagdating sa GAP 3, third reading dito sa House of Representatives, binawasan ng 5.4 billion ang naiwan 16.1 billion. So sa House of Representatives pa lang, binawasan na yung ODA. And you know what happened pagdating sa GAA? Pagdating sa GAA, this is the product of both the Senate, the House of Representatives, at saka sa BICAM. Zero kinatay yung buong ODA. Nagkakahiya sa ating mga foreign creditors. Punta naman tayo sa 2025. Ito yung ginawa. As is, yung proposal, National Expenditure Program, 11 projects, foreign funded, 11 total of 27.5 billion nandito. Nilagyan ko ng marker. GAP 1, first reading, faithful copy, nandito yung 11 projects. Total of 27.5 billion. Third reading, House of Representatives. Binawasan ng 18.6 billion, ang naiwan 8.9 billion na lang. ODA funded ito. May approved loan na sa mga foreign creditors. GAA 2025. In fairness to the other house, to the Senate, pinalik nila yung 300 million. So yung 8.9 na naiwan dito sa House, naging 9.2 billion. Walang binawas pagdating sa Senado, pero ang overall total, ang nabawas is 67% of the flood control budget, which are big ticket. Pag sinabing big ticket, malalaki ito. Sa RT, kung baka super highway, dito dadalo yung maliliit. So what happened to the ODA projects? It's very simple. Tingnan nyo lang. Nawala yung big ticket projects at nagsusulputan na parang kabuti yung maliliit na projects. Makita nyo yan, the budget. In other words, i-chop-chop yung ODA foreign funded projects pumunta sa maliliit na mga proyekto. So, sino ang members ng chop-chop gun dito? So, I have 3 questions for DPWH. First question ko, kung natuloy sana itong mga proyekto, 2 taon yung 2024 zero budget, reduced by 67%.
Honorable Senator.
These are very important questions, Your Honor. The public should know this. First question ko, kung natuloy sana itong mga proyekto na ito, could have this help solve the problems in Metro Manila? Kasi nandito yung Metro Manila Flood Control Project at saka yung Pasig Marikina Channel Improvement. Second, sayang wala si Secretary Bunuan. I'm going to ask him sana dito. Did Secretary Bunuan reported this to the President? Kasi kung 2024 pa lang, na zero na yung ODA, sana hindi na mangyari yung 2025. Diba? Last question. Para sa DPWH. Can we still avail of those loans? Kasi nagbayad na tayo ng commitment fee. So, Secretary Vincison, I know you are a finance guy also. Sayang yung long-term, kaya nga malalaki yun, big ticket, long-term project. Saka ito, may study talaga. Kompleto. Pwede ba natin i-reavail yun? At saka yung maliliit na project, yun na lang gawin nating government of the Philippines counterpart. I hope we can do that. So, yun po. Yun lang po ang matanong ko. Sana meron pa akong isang question. Hindi ko na lang idagdag.
Alright, yan po. Narinig natin ang explanation, ang statement ni Congressman Isidro Ungap po. Maganda. So at least now you have a clear picture or may picture na kayo po of what is happening dyan po sa budget natin. Anyway, since the name of Secretary or acting secretary ng Department of Public Works and Highways, si Secretary Vince Dizon was mentioned. Let me share with you itong video clip po galing sa kanya po. Let's listen to this. You hold on.
Ano po niyang sinabi?
Hold on, ha? Hold on.
From top to bottom.
Alright, nandito po.
Ito po, ayon na rin sa sinabi ng ating Pangulo, itong paulit-ulit na sinabi ng ating Pangulo nitong nakaraang ilang linggo. Unprecedented po ito dahil sa mga nakita at nadiskubre na malawakang anomalya sa DPWH, lalong-lalo na sa mga flood control projects. Not so long ago, the President was here delivering his SONA, and he so clearly and forcefully told the entire nation that he feels that enough is enough, na hindi na dapat maulit itong mga nakita niya, nakita ninyo, at nakita ng buong bayan ng mga project na dapat para sa benepisyo ng taong bayan na nilustay lamang. So I think, honorable members, Chair Mika, please just allow me to first and foremost put into context the President's very clear directives to me as the new Secretary or Acting Secretary of the Department of Public Works and Highways. Dalawa lang po ang sinabi ng Pangulo sa akin nung ako po ay
Okay, yan po si Secretary Dizon, Vince Dizon po, confirmado na may anomalya po dyan po sa Department of Public Works and Highways. Meron mga tao po ngayon already removed from the position, tatlo na sila, and more are coming according to Acting Secretary Vince Dizon. And being the Acting Secretary, nahirapan sila po, he find it difficult to immediately accept ang offer given to him by the President of the Philippines, si Bongbong Marcos. But anyway, at the end of the day, he accepted it. But may nagbigay sa kanya ng dalawang directive o dalawang marching order. Ano yung dalawang marching order? And I will share it with you po ang video clip kay Acting Secretary Vince Dizon. Nandito po. Let's listen to Secretary Vince Dizon on the marching order coming from the President.
ay kailangan linisin from top to bottom ang DPWH. Kailangan pong linisin dahil naniniwala po siya na hindi po mangyayari yung kanyang mga nakitang iba't ibang anomalya, lalong-lalo na sa flood control, kung wala pong kuntsabahan, pagpapayag o pagkukonsinte ng ibang mga opisyal sa loob ng DPWH. Ako po at ang Presidente ay naniniwala na ang higit na nakararami ng mga kawani ng DPWH ay maayos, magaling, at honest. Pero hindi dun po natin mapagkakaila na meron pong hindi ganoon. Kaya po ang una-una pong inutos sa akin ng ating Pangulo ay humingi kagad ng courtesy resignations from top to bottom. Unprecedented po ito, Madam Chair, honorable members of the committee. Pero sabi po ng Pangulo, kinakailangan po itong gawin. At tuloy-tuloy po ngayon ang ating pag-review ng buong organizational structure ng DPWH without necessarily compromising the work that needs to be done and that needs to continue. At kahapon lang po, 3 po sa mga kawani ng DPWH ay recommend na po nating ma-dismiss at makasuhan. Sila po ay humarap na rin po dito sa Kongreso at Senado, pero makakakalap na po tayo just in a few days ng overwhelming na ebidensya laban sa kanila para sila ay i-dismiss at pakasuhan sa Office of the Ombudsman. At yun po ay ginagawa na natin. Ang ikalawa pong direktiba ng ating Pangulo ay aparte po sa paglilinis natin sa personnel mula taas hanggang baba. Kailangan din po natin ng sweeping reforms sa loob ng departamento. Aaminin ko po, sa tinagal-tagal ko po sa gobyerno, ako po ay na-overwhelm sa laki at sa gulo na nadatnan ko at nakikita ko sa loob ng departamento ng Public Works and Highways. Hindi po ito magiging madaling proseso at hindi din po ito magiging mabilis na proseso. This will take time and this will be a very, very difficult process of reform. But as the President said, enough is enough and we must start somewhere. Kaya po, nag-commit po ako sa ating Pangulo at sa inyo po at aming mga mahal na representatives ng ating mga kababayan na magre-reforma po tayo hindi lamang po sa proseso ng budget. Doon po, marami po akong nakikitang kailangan reformahin. At yun po ay nagpapasalamat po ako sa ating mga miyembro ng Kongreso na matapang po nilang isiniwalat at inilabas ang mga nakita nilang mga problema dito sa 2026 net. Yung pong mga proyektong completed na pinopondohan pa rin. Yung pong mga double entry na isang proyekto pero dalawang entry at therefore dalawang budget. Yan po ay kailangan po hindi lamang malaman ng ating mga kababayan pero kailangan po nating ayusin at kailangan po nating tanggalin. Marami din po kailangan reforma na kailangan gawin sa procurement process ng DPWH. Diyan po nagsisimula ang korupsyon. At makakaasa po kayo sa mga susunod na linggo, sa mga susunod na buwan, gagawin po natin yan. At dahil po para ipakita sa ating mga kababayan at sa inyo po, sa kanilang mga representante na ang Pangulo po ay seryoso, nung ilang araw pong nakalipas, tayo po ay nag-order ng complete pause ng ongoing biddings ng mga proyekto sa DPWH para po mag-install ng mga safeguards para hindi po mauup.
Alright, yun po ang boses ng Department of Public Works and Highway Secretary, si Acting Secretary Vince Dizon po. So tingnan natin what will happen. Let's wait and see this coming weeks, days and weeks and even months. Let's see po, kasi sabi niya hindi madali itong proseso. Dalawang directives na he got it from the President, si President Bongbong Marcos, to clean up the mess. Clean also ang personnel ng Department of Public Works and Highways and also focus on the procurement system ng Department of Public Works and Highways po. So, sige lang po, let's see and hope and pray. Pero, yun pa rin, I still agree with the people, mga Filipinos dito po sa Malaysia, when they told me that, Sir, Kuya, kailangan po putulin ang ulo ng ahas, hindi ang tail or ang body po if we want to kill the snake or if we want to stop the corruption in the Philippines po. Agad-agad kung gusto natin na instant death itong corruption, itong ahas, we have to focus, chop the head of the snake, and in a split of a second, wala na po yon, ahas na yun po. So, sino yon nasa taas? Ang ulo po. Kayo nang bala po. You know, I know lang. You know, I know lang po kung sino. And sana lang po, the soonest the better po. Kasi fed up na ang mga Filipinos po. Hindi lang kami dito sa Malaysia. But also mga Filipinos sa iba-ibang parte sa mundo, especially mga overseas Filipino workers po. And of course, dyan po sa Pilipinas, mga kababayan natin po, mga brothers and sisters natin, be it Muslim, Christian, Chinese, or Bisaya, or Ilocano, or Zamboangueño, or Tausug, or whatever race mo. I believe the Filipinos are fed up already of what is happening. If nothing concrete will be taken by the President po or by the government, Marcos administration, I fear po, natatakot kami po dito sa Malaysia, baka we are not hoping, baka we will have similar experience dyan po sa neighboring country natin, ang Indonesia. So let us all pray po. And Filipinos, again, I would like to say, let's continue to be united and focus po. Let's fight for our rights, and we do it properly without bloodshed. Without bloodshed po. So with this, siguro po, hanggang dito na lang ang TikTok, The Real Talk with Nico. Once again, si Nico Fabian would like to say, maski paano, I hope I managed to entertain sa inyo po today, this afternoon po, Saturday. And sana lang po, in whatever reason means po, I managed to give you some latest updates that you really deserve today po. So once again, Nico Fabian would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. Enjoy your weekend, and tomorrow, Sunday, make sure we do our religious obligations. With this, I would say, Malaysia, Sabah, the Philippines. God bless us all, and I'll see you in my next episode. Bye, and I love you.